Hello everyone, Ross from Retro Dreaming. This is unfortunately going to be a quick one, but if you've been watching the channel for a bit, or at least for me, this has been the par where I'll have one super good day and then the next day not too many items, so I don't have too much to talk about. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The first thing right here is the combo order. These are going to be Monster Apocalypse by Privateer Press. These are the bases, player bases. These are blue ones for the bigger monsters. It's a collectible game that you would use to buy booster packs. You would play on like a map. It would essentially be like different cities, and you'd get these big monsters, and then they get these little units. These are used to identify what player team you're on. So, like if you have a collectible game and both players are playing the same faction, this is how you don't accidentally grab your friend's miniatures after you're done playing. So it ended up being $23.80 for both of these. So this is the red player bases. These are the big ones, but this also has some of the smaller ones. The smaller little bases are indicators for the small figures that help support the bigger ones. All right, next up is going to be, had a couple of international, I think like two of them. So the first thing is this Warhammer Fantasy Dwarf. This is like a flag bearer. This is like an old metal vintage one. So yeah, I was looking this up and saw that this went along with Warhammer, like the original fantasy one. So someone's going to use this, as this is just like a bit in piece right here. This ended up going for $25. They're probably going to paint it up and use it. The flag barriers are, they go into the little squads and they'll have one of the little miniatures have the flag barrier, which gives them like bonuses and stuff. I technically haven't played Warhammer 40k or fantasy, but I'm pretty sure that's like what the flag barriers do. All right, next up is going to be this little pocketbook, Starfleet, A Call to Arms. This is going to be, I believe, is an RPG little quick book. A lot of these RPGs will make these little like smaller books or quick rules just to give a taste to someone, see if they really want to get the game. And then sometimes they'll just have smaller versions of the rule book that have the rules condensed. So you don't need the big book if you just need like a quick reminder. You want to hand it out to a player as you're playing the role playing game. So end up going for $10 for that. And then moving along, we got the CD right here. This one is, was it Ben Folds 5? This is just going to be a music CD. Media, like I've been talking about, as well as Annette and I, we both think it's going to be worth more over time. We believe there is starting to be a slight movement with Gen Z getting into physical books and then also like CDs and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. We've listed everything that we've had for this stuff. We had a bunch of CDs a long time ago. I went through all of it. So yeah, this CD right here went for $7.99. All right. I don't know anything about, like, I'm really bad with music, so I don't know like who that is or any history about it, unfortunately. Out of my wheelhouse, but we have sold a bunch of stuff, CDs specifically. Next up is going to be this Warhammer 40k second edition starter set. These are just mission cards right here. This is on there somewhere. It said this is sheet 13. So these starter sets would be these big box sets that come with a bunch of miniatures and all the cards and stuff to play the game. So this one's still, these are loose on their sheets. I'm always nervous with these. I don't think it's a big deal if these like pop out, but you can tell that they're, all right, maybe you can't tell from the camera, but I'm trying to make sure that these don't punch out. End up going for $15.83. Like I said, that's a second edition, so that's like an older one. I think Warhammer 40k, I believe, is on 8th edition. All right, next up is this Maximum CD right here for December 2001. This came along magazines, I believe, and then it has a bunch of demos right here. So I remember there was another person asking a bunch of questions about like the megabytes of Operation Flashpoint demo. I couldn't figure it out. I don't have a CD drive. They just kept asking me, and then someone else swooped in and then end up getting it for $10. This is going international. I noticed it was like 30 something dollars for shipping, so someone really wanted this. I do like the magazine stuff. I also like the inserts that come in magazines. Even selling them separate, people like to collect and complete everything. Obviously, the demo is something someone can use. All right, second to last thing is this Pokemon Mewtwo V card right here. This was from Sword and Shield, I believe. This is still in like a interesting, it's a little packet. I normally don't like to keep these in their original. I also added another thing to keep it safe and well transferring, but these come in Elite Trainer boxes. They usually come with a guaranteed promo. This one was Mewtwo. Usually that's what the front of the box will also have an image of. These cards, because a lot of people get them when the Elite Trainer boxes first come out, even though they're a promo, they're shiny, and sometimes they're playable in the game. I mean, all cards you can use, but some of them, not everyone uses them in like tournament decks. But these eventually do become more rare as the set becomes like a year old or 2 years old. People will be like, okay, yeah, I want to collect all Mewtwo's. Then the card goes from like $3 to $5 to $10 to $15. You never really know how these promos are going to act. This one just went for $5. I got a bunch of almost empty Elite Trainer boxes a couple years ago, and there was a handful of them that still had like their promo cards. So $5 for that. that was basically an extra throw in. Pokemon cards have like good art and stuff to them, and Sword and Shield is super popular right now. Actually, Pokemon's like crazy popular right now. Sealed stuff, singles. We don't have too much. We got rid of all the Costco tin stuff. I do have some like like dice and accessories and sleeves, and then Annetta has her own personal collection, but we're not selling that on eBay. So we have sealed stuff and singles for that. But she mostly just collects Pikachu. That's why we have a bunch of Pikachu stuff. All right, next up or last up for the day. This sold on Mercari, so I don't know for how much, maybe $15 or $20. This is some kind of National Trading Card Day 2004 Fleer sports cards. So I don't know if this is baseball or what kind. I got a bunch of these packs of packs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packs in here. They reached out to her and asked us if we had any other types of packs. There are 2 types of other packs we have, but like sports cards are completely out of my realm. I do know a bunch about cards in general, but the sports cards, I know they are always pretty popular and can be extremely expensive. I know there's like graded cards that go for a lot. I know there's a whole realm of sports cards. It's I believe the most popular and expensive like card collecting thing. It usually is going to be sports cards as a category, then Pokemon cards as a category, and then Magic the Gathering as a category, and everything else is kind of like usually way behind. All right, so like I said, either 15 or 20. She controls some Mercari. She does the cross listing there. All right, unfortunately, that's everything. It's a quick one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help support us, take a look at our links down below.